In the world of Attack on Titan, there are plenty of impactful characters who make everlasting changes on the series. Whether it be Eren activating the rumbling, or simply Hannes sacrificing his life for the greater good. Typically speaking, there is not a single death or decision wasted in this wonderful little series. The same can be said for the 13th commander of the Survey Corps, Erwin Smith. Known for his expert leadership and critical decision-making and planning, he is by far one of the smartest and most talented people in the world of Attack on Titan, and as well, one of the most influential. It's no mistake to say that Erwin Smith has left his stamp on the world and the Survey Corps. But just exactly how deep does that go? How has Erwin changed the Survey Corps? What led to him sacrificing his life for Armin? Is Erwin just as overrated as some would make you think? Well, thankfully in today's video, we'll be answering all of these questions, and most importantly, how Erwin Smith changed Attack on Titan forever. In the Clash of the Titans arc, there is but one moment that single-handedly defined the iron will of Erwin Smith. Of course, some of you may know what I'm talking about, but let's start from the beginning. To set the stage, it wasn't too long after the reveal of the female Titan to be Annie Leonhardt that the people wielding the powers of the armored and colossal Titans were none other than Reiner Braun and Turquoise Mahogany. This sudden, emphasis on sudden, and utter betrayal of these three would be a devastating blow to the Survey Corps and humanity itself. So there was no other option than to go to war, but not using conventional methods. Instead, using the power of the Titans. Hence the name of the arc itself. Eren, now realizing he can take out his revenge after all of these years against the murder of his mother, but as well to save humanity, he was all in. While on the other side, the unsatisfiable Reiner and very tall big boy, Ibuprofen, would fight it out in a battle to behold, trading fists, grapples, and even heads. This still remains one of the more exciting moments in Attack on Titan, and rightfully so. But no matter how exciting, Eren would eventually get captured, and so would begin the mission to save Princess Eren from Donkey Kong. Though now, to save Eren, it will take everything they have, as he is humanity's only hope of survival. This leads Erwin and the Survey Corps to undertake a daring mission in which they will go to the Titan Forest to rescue Eren from the clutches of their enemy. As the mission begins at the Titan Forest, he immediately spots Reiner and the Armored Titan. But instead of just pursuing him, they rather cleverly back off from the chase to let the Armored Titan deal with the onslaught of pure Titans coming after him. This is an example of Erwin's smart, quick, and tactical thinking, because he knows the pure Titans will also attack Titan shifters, thus making the Armored Titan's job more difficult, as he now has to worry about pure Titans and the formidable Survey Corps. Better yet, they essentially use these pure Titans to make Reiner's blind spots open and to eventually weigh down the Armored Titan. Though what happens next is utterly shocking. As the Armored Titan is pinned, Erwin is blindsided by a pure Titan who bites onto his arm. But while a normal man in Attack on Titan would likely panic and die immediately as if they were at 1 HP the entire time of their existence, Erwin, the badass he is, simply orders them to go forward with the mission. This shows Erwin's fearlessness even in the face of potential death. The man literally does not care if he dies. He only cares if the mission is seen through to the end, good or bad. But even then, this was only a minor bump in the story of Erwin, as he eventually comes back, minus an arm, to cut Eren free from Burrito and safely extract Eren to safety. This moment also shows that Erwin will grit through anything and is driven to complete his tasks for the greater good, not giving into the pain of losing his arm. This was a moment nobody would ever forget, as it showed one of the many ways how perfect of a leader Erwin was, and how inspirational his actions could be. Though, while all of this may be, I think there is one moment which many consider controversial: the suicide charge against the Beast Titan. Though, I think it's deeper and more layered than you may think. The Survey Corps' return to Shiganshina would always be one met in conflict. Seeking to discover the secrets of what lay behind the locked doors of Grisha Yeager's basement, it would not be as simple as turning a key. No. Instead, the Survey Corps would need to dedicate their all, much like every mission, to accomplish their task. Now, even more than before, as they would be going up against the full might of the Marleyan military. Reiner, the Thing, Zeke, and of course, Peek! Their plan would be a simple one, but layered. Erwin, realizing they want to take Erwin as quickly as possible, orders all of their men and women to use vertical maneuvering gear while cloaked. Not only does this allow them to get the drop on any Titans much quicker, but keeps them from singling out Erwin immediately. Though, knowing now they're playing into the enemy's hands, Erwin quickly seals the gate in Wall Maria, and as the mission continues, Armin informs Erwin of a recently used campsite. Shortly thereafter, the fight begins, as Reiner makes his appearance, signaling Marley's retaliation. As Erwin and the rest of the Survey Corps deal with Reiner and Tall Paul, outside Wall Maria, Erwin and Levi spot the Beast Titan off in the distance with the Cart Titan. From there, the Beast Titan hurls crushed rocks at them, making any sort of retreat impossible. Seeing no other way out of this, Erwin laments the current situation and how he'll never be able to achieve his dream of seeing what's in the basement. But Levi, realizing the situation, asks Erwin to sacrifice his life, die, and give up his dream, which gives him the strength to suicide charge every one of his soldiers at the Beast Titan, so that Levi will have the opportunity to take him down and complete the mission, saving humanity. And it worked. The suicide charge went off without a hitch, and Levi was able to take down the Beast Titan. Erwin finally captured Boris, and the mission was a success. Though, with this success, many would argue it a Pyrrhic victory. Though was it? The reason many people consider this an extremely controversial moment is simply for what occurs after the victory. The ultimate sacrifice of Erwin as he unconsciously chooses Armin as the inheritor of the Colossal Titan over his very own life. This would send shockwaves through the rest of Attack on Titan's story, as this decision to sacrifice himself would ultimately be what inspires some of the worst outcomes in the world of Attack on Titan. Though how, you may ask? I'll explain. Well, this key moment would be a massive influence in the rise of the Jaegerists and Flock Forrester. Him being the only survivor of the suicide charge and being a massive proponent of Erwin Smith becoming the Colossal Titan, his mind would essentially break. From there on out, Flock would believe that power is key, as to defeat your enemy, you must become the devil itself. Now, I did a whole breakdown of Flock's character in a video linked here in the top right, but for the sake of time, this decision helped justify Flock's decision to become an authoritarian leader of sorts, oppressing his own people by killing those who spoke against the belief of the Jaegerists, supplanting the Paradis military by assassinating Zackley, and of course, being Eren Yeager, the greatest threat to humanity's right-hand man. If anything, Erwin's death assured that besides all of that I just mentioned, that Flock would be the one to give birth to the Jaegerists. If you don't believe me, his main crux with the military was how Hanj wasn't really fit to command and that they were not proactive enough to protect themselves from Marley. Why? Because Erwin would have done anything to protect his people, even become a devil himself. Then as well, you have Erwin's influence on Armin's Survivor's Guild, which, like Flock, is handled in a unique way. Armin, after Erwin passes, feels he can't possibly live up to the standards of Erwin, as the way he reads it is that he must become just as good as Erwin rather than simply being the best version of himself that he possibly can. So, because of the immense weight on his shoulders, he feels that he is not worthy to survive. This has huge ramifications on Armin's character, which shows how Erwin choosing Armin affected things more on a macro level. Funnily enough, I think Erwin's death also affected Hanji-san much in the same way it affected Armin as well. Hanji struggles to lead the military as living up to Erwin is no easy task to achieve. We saw how fearless Erwin acted when he would sacrifice life and literal limb, but also how he led the military to protect his people over his own life. He was a truly selfless man and a great leader. So when Hanj has to live up to those expectations, she tries to be more like Erwin, when the reality is she should just try to be the best version of herself that she possibly can. While in the world of Attack on Titan, the people hated Hanji as a leader, I think for her it was the right place at the wrong time. She absolutely fits the role of the 14th commander, but not under these circumstances and in this environment, and there is nothing wrong with that. When we talk about people like Erwin, we typically talk about legacy, the life they leave us, the way they led, and the history to learn from. What makes Erwin so special is that he is, influence-wise, one of the most important characters in the world of Attack on Titan, bar none. The reason we can say this is simply what he achieved while alive and what he achieved in death. While alive, he carried the torch of humanity into an unforeseen age where the Survey Corps would uncover some of the most tantamount secrets. He would also be seen as a key leader and influence on people like Levi Ackerman, Mikasa Ackerman, Eren, Armin, Hanji, and so much more. As for his death, it would mean choosing Hanji to lead the Survey Corps into a new era wrought with chaos and division, but also giving one of the most brightest minds in the military, Armin, one of the most destructive titans, the Colossal Titan. Though most importantly, his death would directly influence the creation of the Jaegerists, led by Eren Yeager and Flock Forrester, which would go on to suppress the people of Paradis through murder and violence, and help activate the rumbling in an attempt to achieve mass genocide. Erwin Smith forever changed the outcome of Attack on Titan, proving once more that, just like in my video on the most important deaths of Attack on Titan, a character in death is more important than in life. But for Erwin, he was a special case. Erwin Smith was important in death and in life. And that is how Erwin Smith changed Attack on Titan forever. If you enjoyed this video, check out my Flock Forster, Porco Galliard, and Gabby Braun analysis videos, and as well, help support the channel by becoming a patron. Links in the description. Bye-bye!